Did you know that the eggs you've enjoyed for decades could be secretly undermining your health? While eggs are celebrated as nature's perfect protein package, rich in nutrients that support brain health, muscle maintenance, and overall vitality, many seniors are unknowingly turning this superfood into something potentially harmful. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to inflammation and foodborne illness. The cooking methods and handling practices you've used since your 30s or 40s might now be putting your health at risk. But here's the good news. You don't need to give up eggs. Simple adjustments to how you select, store, and prepare them can transform your morning routine from a hidden health hazard into the nutritional powerhouse you deserve. I'd love to know where this information is reaching you. Comment your city below and hit that subscribe button if you're committed to healthier aging. Now, let's uncover the most dangerous egg mistake that might be happening in your kitchen right now. 1. The hidden danger of damaged and expired eggs. Have you ever cracked open an egg and wondered if it's still good to eat? That moment of hesitation is your instinct trying to protect you, and for good reason. What might surprise you is that the egg sitting in your refrigerator right now could be harboring invisible dangers, especially if you're over 60. When an eggshell has even the tiniest crack, sometimes so small you can barely see it, bacteria can sneak inside. Think of that shell as your home's front door. When it's damaged, unwanted visitors get in. As eggs age, their natural protective coating breaks down, making them more vulnerable to these bacterial invaders. The yolk membrane weakens too, allowing any bacteria that enters to move more freely throughout the egg. For those of us with a few more years of wisdom, this presents a special concern. After 50, our immune systems naturally become less efficient. It's just part of the aging process. What might cause a younger person a day of discomfort could send someone in their 70s or 80s to the hospital. Our digestive systems change too, producing less stomach acid that would normally help kill harmful bacteria. Elizabeth, a 77-year-old grandmother from Denver, learned this lesson the hard way. "I've been cooking eggs the same way for over 50 years, she told me. I never thought twice about using eggs that were a little past their date. After making her favorite egg salad sandwich, Elizabeth spent 3 days in the hospital with severe dehydration from food poisoning. Her doctor explained that at her age, her body couldn't fight off the infection as easily as when she was younger. Here's a simple test that could have saved Elizabeth a lot of suffering. Fill a bowl with cold water and gently place your egg in it. If it sinks and lays flat on its side, it's fresh and safe. If it stands upright on the pointed end, it's still okay to eat, but use it soon. But if it floats to the top, that's your signal to toss it immediately. No exceptions. Many of us rely on expiration dates printed on cartons, but here's what food safety experts don't often share: the 21-day rule. Regardless of what the carton says, eggs are truly at their best quality and safety within 21 days of being laid. After that, quality declines and risk increases, especially for seniors. When shopping, take a moment to open the carton and inspect each egg. Look for hairline cracks or sticky residue that might indicate breakage. And here's something most people never consider. Those temperature changes during your shopping trip matter. Eggs that sit in your cart while you finish shopping, then in your warm car before making it home, undergo stress that can speed up deterioration. Store your eggs in the main body of your refrigerator, not in the door where temperatures fluctuate every time you open it. The consistent cold temperature slows bacterial growth and keeps those eggs safer for your morning omelet. Remember, you don't need to give up eggs. You just need to be a bit more careful with them as you age. Your body deserves that extra attention, doesn't it? 2. The raw truth about undercooked eggs. Remember those Rocky movies where Sylvester Stallone drank raw eggs before his morning workout? That scene convinced a generation that raw eggs were the secret to strength and vitality. But here's what Hollywood didn't tell you. Raw eggs can be dangerous, especially as we get older. Let's clear up a common myth first. Many people believe raw eggs provide more nutrition than cooked ones. The truth? Cooking eggs actually makes their protein more digestible. Your body can absorb about 50% of the protein from a raw egg, but that jumps to 90% when the egg is cooked. Isn't that surprising? The heat actually helps break down proteins into forms your body can use more easily. There's another benefit to cooking eggs that few people know about. Raw egg whites contain a protein called avidin that binds to biotin, a B vitamin, and prevents your body from absorbing it. Biotin is crucial for healthy skin, hair, and nerves, all things we want to maintain as we age. Cooking neutralizes avidin, allowing you to absorb all that beneficial biotin. Thomas, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Phoenix, learned this lesson after years of making protein shakes with raw eggs. "I thought I was doing everything right for my health," he shared. "I was hitting the gym 3 times a week and having my raw egg protein shake afterward." What Thomas didn't realize was that his recurring digestive issues and occasional bouts of fatigue were connected to those raw eggs. His doctor finally made the connection after he mentioned his daily shake routine during a checkup. You might be thinking, "I never eat raw eggs." But are you sure? Many foods contain raw or undercooked eggs that you might not realize. Homemade Caesar salad dressing, traditional eggnog, some mousses and custards, and even certain brands of mayonnaise. And how about those runny eggs you love for breakfast? If the yolk isn't fully set, bacteria could still be present. For those who prefer softer eggs, there are safer options. Pasteurized eggs have been briefly heated to kill bacteria while still in the shell, making them safer for recipes calling for raw or lightly cooked eggs. They're widely available now in most grocery stores. Look for the word pasteurized on the carton. Speaking of pasteurization, this process has revolutionized egg safety in recent years. Did you know that in the 1980s and 90s, the risk of salmonella from eggs was much higher than it is today? Modern egg handling and safety standards have improved dramatically, but that doesn't mean we can let our guard down, especially after age 60, when our immune systems naturally become less efficient. The next time you're tempted by a recipe calling for raw or undercooked eggs, ask yourself, is the risk worth it? For most of us enjoying our golden years, the answer is simple. Fully cooked eggs provide more nutrition and far less risk. And isn't that what smart eating is all about? 3. The temperature trap, improper storage. After cooking, have you ever made a big batch of deviled eggs for a family gathering, left them out during the party, and then refrigerated the leftovers? If so, you might have unknowingly created what food safety experts call the temperature trap. And it's particularly risky for those of us over 60. Here's something that might surprise you. Bacteria can double in number every 20 minutes when food sits at room temperature. Think about that for a moment. If you leave your egg salad on the counter for 2 hours, the bacteria present could multiply more than 64 times. It's like watching your grandchildren grow, except much faster and far less delightful. Cooked eggs enter what experts call the danger zone, between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the moment they start cooling on your plate. While a younger person's immune system might handle this bacterial increase without much trouble, our bodies become less efficient at fighting these invaders as we age. Diane, a 68-year-old grandmother from Chicago, used to prepare her weekday breakfasts in advance. "Sunday night was my cooking night," she explained. "I'd make a big batch of scrambled eggs and portion them out for the week." What she didn't realize was that by letting the eggs cool completely on the counter before refrigerating them, she was creating the perfect environment for bacterial growth. Her occasional stomach upset and digestive issues improved dramatically when she changed one simple habit: cooling her eggs quickly in smaller portions before refrigerating them. Cross-contamination is another hidden risk in many kitchens. When you store cooked eggs on a shelf above raw meat or unwashed vegetables, drips from these items can introduce new bacteria to your perfectly cooked eggs. A simple solution: dedicate the top shelf of your refrigerator to ready-to-eat foods, like cooked eggs and leftovers. For those of us who like to cook ahead to save time and energy, here's a safer approach. Cool cooked eggs quickly by spreading them on a plate in a single layer rather than piling them in a deep container. Once cooled, store them in shallow, airtight containers and use them within 3 to 4 days. Hard-boiled eggs in their shells will keep for about a week. When it's time to reheat those eggs, many of us reach for the microwave, but that often leaves eggs rubbery and unappealing. Instead, try gentle reheating in a covered pan with a tablespoon of water. The steam helps revive the eggs without overcooking them. Your taste buds will thank you. Modern refrigeration has been a wonderful convenience, but it's also created a false sense of security. Just because food is cold doesn't mean all bacterial growth stops. It just slows down. That's why the 2-hour rule is so important. Never leave cooked eggs at room temperature for more than 2 hours, or 1 hour if it's above 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Remember when our parents or grandparents were much more vigilant about food storage before refrigeration was common? They understood something we sometimes forget. Proper food handling isn't just about convenience. It's about protection. And as we age, that protection becomes even more important. 4. The heat problem. Why overcooking destroys health benefits. Have you ever noticed that dark ring around the yolk of a hard-boiled egg that's been cooked too long? Or that strong sulfur smell? These are visible signs of a hidden problem that affects many of us who grew up before food safety became a common concern: the tendency to overcook eggs. When eggs are exposed to high heat for too long, they undergo a process called oxidation. Think of it like what happens when an apple turns brown after being cut, except it's happening to the cholesterol in your eggs. This oxidized cholesterol is far more likely to contribute to inflammation in your body than the regular cholesterol found in properly cooked eggs. For those of us in our golden years, this inflammation connection is particularly important. Many age-related conditions, from arthritis to heart disease, are linked to chronic inflammation. Every time you overcook your eggs, you're potentially adding fuel to that inflammatory fire. But the damage doesn't stop there. Eggs are naturally packed with important nutrients that support healthy aging. Vitamin D for bone health, choline for brain function, lutein and zeaxanthin for eye health, and B vitamins for energy. When eggs are overcooked, many of these nutrients begin to break down. The longer and hotter you cook them, the more nutrients you lose. James, an 81-year-old retired engineer from Boston, always preferred his eggs well done, scrambled until dry and hard-boiled until the yolks were powdery. "I grew up during a time when people were terrified of undercooked eggs," he explained. "My mother insisted they be cooked until there wasn't a hint of softness left." After learning about the nutritional impact of overcooking, James decided to try gentler cooking methods. Within weeks, he noticed improved digestion and more sustained energy throughout the morning. So what's the right way to cook eggs for maximum nutrition? For scrambled eggs, cook them over medium-low heat, removing them from the pan when they're still slightly moist. They'll continue cooking for a moment after they're off the heat. For hard-boiled eggs, bring the water to a boil, then turn off the heat and let the eggs sit covered for 9 to 12 minutes, depending on size, before cooling them quickly in ice water. You can tell an egg is perfectly cooked by these visual cues. Scrambled eggs should be soft and moist with no browning. Fried eggs should have set whites with yolks that are as runny or firm as you prefer, but without crusty edges. And hard-boiled eggs should have yolks that are evenly yellow throughout, with no grayish-green ring. Interestingly, many traditional cooking methods from around the world naturally preserve egg nutrition. The French prefer their omelets barely set and creamy inside. In Japan, onsen eggs are gently cooked in hot spring water at lower temperatures for longer periods. These methods, developed over centuries, preserve more nutrients than our modern habit of high heat, quick cooking. Next time you prepare eggs, remember that gentler heat and shorter cooking times aren't just about taste. They're about preserving the very nutrients that make eggs such a valuable food for healthy aging. Isn't it nice when something that tastes better is actually better for you too? 5. The oil factor: how your choice of fat multiplies or negates benefits. When it comes to cooking eggs, what you cook them in might be just as important as how you cook them, especially for those of us concerned about healthy aging. The oil or fat you choose can either enhance the nutritional benefits of your eggs or potentially undermine your health. Many of us grew up using whatever cooking oil was in the pantry, often vegetable oil, margarine, or shortening. But here's what we didn't know then. When certain oils are heated to high temperatures, they break down and create compounds that can be harmful to our bodies. This breakdown happens at what scientists call the smoke point, that moment when your oil starts to smoke in the pan. What makes this particularly important for seniors is the connection to inflammation. Damaged oils don't just lose their nutritional value, they actively create compounds that can increase inflammation throughout the body. And as many of us have discovered, inflammation seems to be behind many age-related conditions, from joint pain to heart concerns to memory issues. Recent research has even suggested a connection between the types of fats we consume and brain health. Scientists studying Alzheimer's and cognitive decline have found that certain cooking oils may contribute to inflammation in the brain, while others, particularly extra virgin olive oil, may actually help protect brain function. Barbara, a 74-year-old retired nurse from Florida, experienced this connection firsthand. "I've had arthritis in my hands for years," she shared. "When my doctor suggested I look at the types of fats in my diet, I was skeptical." Barbara had been frying her morning eggs in vegetable oil or margarine for decades. On her doctor's advice, she switched to olive oil and occasionally grass-fed butter. "Within 3 weeks, I noticed less stiffness in the morning. After 2 months, the difference was remarkable. My hands felt better than they had in years." So which oils should you choose? The best options for egg cooking combine a reasonable smoke point with healthy fat profiles. Extra virgin olive oil, despite some myths, can be used for most egg cooking methods as long as you keep the heat medium-low. Avocado oil has a higher smoke point and is rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats. Grass-fed butter or ghee, clarified butter, provides excellent flavor and contains beneficial nutrients like vitamin K2, which helps direct calcium to your bones rather than your arteries. On the other hand, highly processed vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and canola oils, even though they've been marketed as heart-healthy for decades, tend to be high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can promote inflammation when consumed in excess. These oils also tend to be more processed, often using chemical solvents for extraction. Beyond health benefits, quality oils significantly enhance the flavor of your eggs. Many people who switch from processed oils to olive oil or butter are surprised by how much more satisfying their eggs taste. You might find yourself using less salt when the natural flavors shine through. If you're watching your fat intake, there are cooking techniques that require less oil while maintaining moisture. Try poaching eggs in simmering water or use a non-stick pan lightly coated with oil using a paper towel. Steam frying, where you add a tablespoon of water to the pan and cover it, creates steam that helps cook the eggs with minimal oil. It's interesting to note that many traditional cooking fats our grandparents used, like butter, lard, or schmaltz, were unfairly vilified during the low-fat craze of the late 20th century. Today's nutritional science is rediscovering that these natural, minimally processed fats may be far healthier than the manufactured alternatives that replaced them. Making the switch to better oils is one of the easiest changes you can implement immediately. Tomorrow morning, try cooking your eggs in olive oil or a small amount of butter instead of vegetable oil or margarine. Pay attention to both the flavor and how you feel afterward. Many people report less digestive discomfort and more satisfaction from this simple swap. Remember, healthy aging isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And sometimes, the smallest changes to long-standing habits can make the biggest difference in how you feel each day. We've uncovered 5 common mistakes that could be turning your morning eggs from a nutritional powerhouse into something potentially harmful. But here's the wonderful news. Eggs themselves aren't the problem. With a few simple adjustments to how you select, store, prepare, and cook them, eggs can remain one of the most nutritious foods in your diet, especially during your golden years. Remember to check for freshness using the water test. Cook eggs thoroughly but gently. Store them properly after cooking and choose healthy oils for preparation. These small changes can make a significant difference in how you feel and how your body processes this wonderful food. Isn't it remarkable how the habits we've carried for decades can sometimes use a little fine-tuning? Our bodies change as we age, and adjusting our cooking methods to match those changes is one of the wisest things we can do for ourselves. I'd love to hear which of these tips surprised you the most, or which change you plan to make first. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this information helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more practical health advice tailored for our generation. After all, we're in this journey of healthy aging together.